So, part two of the history of the world. Uh, let's talk a bit more about Adam and Eve. Let's talk a bit more about the other humanoids. And let's see what happened in my reality. Hello, everybody. Psycho back. So, I'm your bad influencer. I'm telling you things you want to know, showing you things you want to see. And as I said, today we are covering part two of the history of the world according to me. So we left off with Adam and Eve, and they ate the forbidden fruit. No, it was not an apple. This was not mentioned in any of the holy scriptures in any religion. But whatever that fruit may have been, they gained knowledge, which our Lord, our Creator, did not want Adam and Eve to have. For this reason, they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, which most likely was modern day Iraq slash southern Turkey. Now, no matter what religions are saying, we have pretty solid proof that Adam and Eve were not the first humans, and I said something about this in my previous video. The story of Cain and Abel, which were the sons of Adam and Eve, the first two sons, because they had after that they had many more children. But the story of Cain and Abel actually proved that Adam and Eve were most likely not the very first humans, and that's why I said in my previous video that other humanoids, right? And this was again proven in anthropology. So Cain ended Abel's life, and he was banished by God into the wide world. Um, Cain was unhappy about this, and he actually complained. He said that, well, because I have done this, the other humans may find out, and they will end up taking my life. But this was not the punishment in itself. So what the Lord did, he marked him. It's not clear what that marking was, but what is documented is that Cain was somehow marked, most probably by some sort of sign on his forehead, so that when the other humans would see him, they would not dare to touch him. So then, again, what other humans? Because this is exactly how it is written in the Bible. If the other people will see me, if the other humans will see me, they will kill me. So if Adam and Eve were the first and only humans, then where did these other humans come from that would most likely kill Abel? Well, and this is what I mentioned in the first part. There were other humans or humanoids on Earth, and again, like I said, this is anthropologically proven. There were other humanoid races on Earth before the Homo sapiens, which Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, they were the first of. So the Homo sapiens, they lived in the same time with at least one, if not more, other species of humanoids, the Neanderthals. And we know that the Neanderthals, they were very aggressive, and they enjoyed hunting and taking lives of the Homo sapiens. So how did the Homo sapiens end up surviving as a race and not the Neanderthals? Good question. I mean, let's be real. Let's be anthropologically real. The Neanderthals were bigger, and most likely they were smarter than the Homo sapiens. They were, for sure, much more aggressive. So, again, how did the Homo sapien race survive? And which is us, obviously, and the Neanderthals are no more. Part of them are still here because we have some Neanderthal DNA. This has been proven, but this is because they were actually taken. The Neanderthals were actually taking, kidnapping Homo sapien females, and they were forcing them into reprocreation. But the reality is the same. Neanderthals completely gone, and the Homo sapiens are still here. Well, and that's where the Watchers come in. The angel soldiers assigned to guard God's creation against the creations of the other gods. Is this true? It's very likely. So, did these Watchers kill off the Neanderthals? Possibly. But why was this needed? Because other than Cain taking the life of Abel, the Homo sapiens, they did not know weaponry and warfare. They were a peaceful and even docile race. And this was actually proven through, again, through anthropological records. This was, well, they did research, they found the remains, and based on what we know, Homo sapiens knew peace, and the Neanderthals, they were more warlike. So, because of this, and because we have to wonder if there was no other threat from outside, because God created everything, and there are no other gods according to religions. Why did the humans, the Homo sapiens, need the angels to watch over them? Was this just for simple prayer? No, we can do that directly to the Lord. So these watchers most likely were set in place to protect God's creation against the other humanoid races, which would have otherwise eliminated them. So I'm gonna keep it up to here so far. I have several more parts coming. So this far, I hope I'm making sense. I hope you're following this. I hope you're enjoying it. For sure, I am thankful to you for your patience. Thank you for watching. Again, think for yourselves if it makes sense. If not, please correct me if I'm wrong. If you do want to correct me, please come with some counterproof and not, but it says so in our scriptures, because the scriptures, as realistic, as real they may be, they are obviously incomplete, because as much as I believe in God, anthropology, the science, they have found the remains of these other humanoid creatures, and it's obvious that if Adam and Eve were our ancestors, it's not likely that they were one of the other races. It's most likely that they were the first Homo sapiens. So these other humanoid races, they were already there, and this is again my story. So stay tuned for the second one. As always, again, thank you. If you are so inclined, I would ask you that you either make a small donation, which will help me greatly to keep doing this research, to keep making these videos, to hopefully make a lot of sense, to cover topics that science nor religion does tell you about. Um, if you don't have the budget, or you just do not feel like offering a small donation, then please do hit that like button, please share my video, subscribe, so the algorithm will start paying me, so I don't have to keep asking you guys. That would be so much better. So again, thank you for watching. I'll see everybody on the next one. I love you all in the most non in the most in the kindest of ways. We're all brothers and sisters under the same God, and may peace be upon you all.